adult audience. Loveline may contain sexually oriented content. Listener discretion is advised. Adam Carolla and Dr. Drew. Loveline, coast to coast.
Hey, everybody, it's Loveline. I'm Adam Carolla. That's Dr. Drew. Phone number 1-800-LOVE-191. Dr. Drew, board-certified physician, addiction medicine specialist. Henry Rollins is joining us. Let me try that again. Henry Rollins is joining us tonight in the studio. Always good to see Henry on the show. I think it's... Henry's been one of our more consistent guests over the last 5-6 years on this program. Would you agree with that,
Absolutely.
Drew and Henry?
Yes. Thanks for having me again.
Always a pleasure. Henry, as usual, has many irons in the fire. And you know the thing that's nice about Henry is Henry doesn't just put the iron in the fire, actually pulls it out and brands someone's ass with it.
Nice.
And that
Nice
he
touch.
comes out with the book, he comes out with the tour, he comes out with the CD. It's not just here's what I got going, here's what I got going, here's what I got going. Well, it's got to be nice.
Keeps you busy.
Yeah. You acting. I got some movie stuff here and some CD stuff here, but you tell me what most interests you at this point.
What, with what I'm doing?
Yeah.
It's the fact that I still get to do it after 22 years. You know, entertainment business is pretty rickety. You know, you have your time and then see you later. But I get to keep playing the music. People keep showing up. Bands playing good. I've been doing a lot of cool TV and movie stuff.
Still touring the world?
Yeah. I did 22 countries this year, and doing the same thing next year. Well, you know, it's still great. You know, having more fun than ever doing the music, playing really well. And I was on stage last night in the Midwest at the University of Carbondale. Had a great time. A lot of people showed up.
Where is that?
It's in Illinois. It's right near St. Louis.
Carbondale. We just announced a radio station that was in.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we did. We got a new affiliate out in the Carbondale area.
Yeah, it's really cool.
And why do you think you're enjoying the music now? I mean, more than 15 years ago.
I think I'm better at it. And it's like a love affair you have. Yeah, when you finally get to where you can figure out how the song works and everything, you just kind of enjoy it more. I mean, I really enjoy playing with my guys and going up there and playing real loud and hitting it really hard. It's good.
Henry has a new CD that's coming out tomorrow, coincidentally, called Rise Above, and it's 24 Black Flag songs. It's done by various artists. And why don't you talk about some of those artists?
Yeah, well, it's a benefit record, and all the money goes to the West Memphis 3 Support Fund. Very
Anderson,
good.
big fan of the West Memphis 3.
Yeah, 3 young men incarcerated in Arkansas on murder charges, which myself and a lot of people do not, we don't think the verdict is right. And so a lot of people have gotten together and voiced protest, contributed money, written the governor, and me and my worthy constituents, Rollins Band guys, Jim, Jason, and Marcus, our hat into the ring has been this record. And so it's Black Flag songs played by my guys, the Mother Superior guys, and songs sung by a bunch of cool kick-ass rock and rollers like Corey from Slipknot and Lemmy and Ice-T and Chuck D.
We're going to hear some of this tonight?
Yeah, Nick from Queens of the Stone Age, Hank Williams III. All kinds of people are on this. Mike Patton from Faith No More sings great on this.
Hank Williams III?
Yeah, he's amazing vocal.
How old is he?
He's probably 20-something. Good guy.
Jeez, I didn't know there's a Hank Williams.
Yeah. He's got a good band, and he does. He get on stage. He'll do like his country set, and then he'll come out and do his rock set. And good guy. Came right aboard with one phone call. Came right in. Did a great vocal on a song called No Values. Great stuff.
Wow. And I guess you go to the third if there's a junior, but then the fourth, if he has a kid named Hank Williams, that's junior.
Yeah.
That's something you may not have known, Drew.
Huh.
Oh, you did know that.
Well, I might have known at some level, but I'm really feeling enlightened tonight. Thank you, Adam.
You're quite welcome. Also, Henry's got Bad Boys 2 coming out with Martin Lawrence and Will Smith, and
That was fun.
what's the first one was about? It's got, by the time this one comes out, will it be 9 years or something?
Something like that, yeah. I think it was 7 years ago, and now that in year 8 they're filming, so I guess year 9 it comes out. Yeah, they're shooting at Miami, and I have a small part in there, which I auditioned for and got, and did a whole bunch of cool scenes where, helicopters, lifeboats, running around, screaming, beating people up. It was really awesome, and Will is a champion guy, as is Martin. Just good guys, and can really do it. They have the talent, and it's
How many days?
Fun.
How many days work did you get on it?
I was down there for a little over 2 weeks.
It's got to be nice just to do the fun stuff. I mean, you don't have to do the whole film, and it'd be nice to be the star of the film too. But I mean, they call you in. You're playing a bad guy, playing a tough guy.
Oh no, I'm a good guy.
Oh, you're a good guy?
Oh yeah, I'm a good guy. Yeah, I'm head of the tactical narcotics team.
Oh, really? Get a windbreaker?
I get guns and ammo and all kinds of bulletproof vests and black clothing. And
Did you do anything scary?
yeah, I beat up some Klan members.
Nice.
I say get on the ground and have to say all kinds of intense expletives. Oh yeah, it's great.
When's it coming out?
I guess some huge holiday. Like it's one of those blockbusters.
Maybe they'll just
It's like July 4th or
they'll
something.
just have a day for
the movie.
Well,
Yeah,
it's a Will Smith movie, so it's going to be huge.
All right. Well, sounds like again you got your.
I was on Drew Carey tonight.
Drew Carey. Jesus
Yeah, I shot that a
Christ.
few weeks ago, and I guess it's over and done with now. But
As you?
no, as a character named Mr. Jericho, who has to deliver an ass whooping that Mr. Harvey got on eBay. He wanted an ass kicking, and 'cause he feels guilty about what he accidentally hurt his mom in a bowling alley. So he wins an ass kicking on eBay, and I come to deliver
Nice.
said kicking.
It's a nice eclectic career you've carved out for yourself, Henry.
I tell you, I'm having a really good time, and I'm keeping it real, so it's good.
All right, let's go to the phones and speak to Sean, who's 19. Sean?
Hey, what's happening?
Meanwhile, we're doing the same goddamn thing, Drew, night in, night out. What's happening, Sean?
Well, I've been dating this girl for about, like month and a half or so. And, every time we try to have sex, she tries to put her finger up my ass.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, dude.
I don't believe it.
Yeah, I don't either.
Sorry, Sean.
Nice try.
I hope it breaks off next time she does it.
Nice try.
That wasn't even a nice try.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
No, that wasn't. If that
Wasn't delivered properly,
That was a
yeah.
field goal. Would have hit the center in the ass. I mean, that was not even a nice
You're right.
try.
You're right.
We knew that was bogus. 3 syllables into it. Nick,
Hey, what's up?
what's happening?
I just wanted to tell you guys that you are, like, so huge. I mean, just today in particular, I've just been hearing you guys left and right. I mean, everything my friend said, everything that I said, it just led to a reference to Loveline. And you
Great.
actually had a reference on a TV show tonight.
Whatever.
What show was that, Ed?
It was a show on WB, so you probably don't care too much.
What show was that?
It's called Everwood.
Oh, they made a Loveline reference?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
What'd they say?
Well, the dad was doing a sex ed assembly, and he said, "I'm not sure who Dr. Drew is, but they said I kicked his ass."
Wow. That's a Drew reference.
very-
You're a popular culture icon now. You are now in the
up there with
lexicon
Henry.
of American popular
That's
culture.
very
You're a
cool.
folk hero. You're like Johnny Appleseed.
That's right.
It's a name that evokes.
Little
Paul
do they know that you're
Bunyan.
doing this broadcast with a condom on your head.
But you know what's interesting about Nick is that this show has suddenly, like in the last 8 months, gone through a resurgence of popularity in the 13, 14, 15-year-old age group.
Well, you deserve it.
Well, thank you, Nick. But it's good because the show was originally designed to sort of focus in on the mid-adolescent age group. Originally, it's changed.
Dude, how
over
do
the
you
years.
know we've went through a renaissance?
Because I can't walk down the hall in my kid's junior high school, and that never happened before. And all of a sudden, boom, it started happening.
All right.
And it's same thing in other cities and stuff. I just noticed that there was sort of I don't expect a 14-year-old to know who I am.
Right.
Because that they weren't around during the MTV years and stuff. And
All right.
all of a sudden there's this interest in
You
this.
guys do a good thing. That's why I always say yes when I get the offer to come here. I really hold tight with, the service you guys provide. I reckon if a young person has to call 2 strangers in the middle of the night to get information, sensitive information on sex, then obviously they're not getting it at home or school, and the fact that you guys are out there giving the straight deal probably saved some people's lives, you know.
Thanks,
I mean, I've
Henry.
been here enough times hearing some really crazy calls where it's a good thing they called someone who knows something, you know. And I'm sure you guys are here every night, so you know you hear it more than me. But
Thanks, Henry. Hey, Nick,
Yep.
you just called to shower some love upon us?
Yeah, basically. But one more thing. I'm planning on a prank call sometime, but what's the tagline you're supposed to put on the end of it?
The deal is that there was this guy from Arizona about, 5 years ago?
Make it 7.
7 years ago, and called in with a good call. And at the end, it would end with, the problem is she had an asshole or a butthole the size of a mason jar. You'd say butthole,
Right.
wouldn't you?
That's how you end.
So if you want to tag on, alert us to the fact that we're having a bogus call, just tag on butthole the size of a mason jar.
Right. Claudia,
Yeah,
you're 22?
yeah.
What's up?
I'm married. I have a friend. She's bi. About 4 or 5 months ago, I was at her house. We were drinking and stuff, and she was like trying to come on to me, and I knew she was bi, and I was like totally like into her. So we went upstairs.
Are you bisexual?
I don't know. I mean, obviously, I guess so.
Do you have kids?
Huh?
Do you have children?
No, I don't.
Okay. And how long have you been married for?
3 years?
Got married at 19.
Yeah.
How old is your husband?
24.
You said you were drinking at the time?
Yeah.
Any of the drugs or anything?
No, just liquor. And I mean, we went upstairs. We were talking, and I mean, one thing just led to another, and I mean, we started fooling around. And
Who's that in the background there?
my sister's kid.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah. And, you know, we started fooling around, and, you know, we started doing stuff. We kissed. I went down on her. She went down on me. And then my husband came knocking on the door. So it's like I really couldn't do what I wanted to do. But, I mean, I want to...
Hold on a second.
Stop.
I'm no expert in the lesbian love department, but after you went down on her and she went down on you, what do you get to do?
What was it you wanted to do beyond that?
What is
I mean,
the
it was just
crescendo?
like- it
You
was
get her
just-
with a lamp or something? What goes on?
It was just like seconds, though. For like seconds. Like, I went down on her for like 5 seconds.
She didn't get to do as long as she wanted to. Ultimately, what she wanted to do.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
All right. Now, did your husband flip out?
He didn't know. He didn't know.
Have you had cheated on your husband before?
No, never.
How's your relationship with your husband going?
It's good. I mean, I love him, and everything.
How old is your husband?
24.
24. You love him and everything, but...
But I'm interested in her, and
Yeah.
it's like I don't know what to do.
Well, first of all, Claudia sounds about 8.
Yeah.
8 to 10. Right in there.
Yeah, Claudia, why'd you get married at 19?
I don't know. I
Okay.
love him.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
By the way, unacceptable. That evokes the sound of Charlie Brown's teacher in my head in the show.
Wah, wah, wah.
Yeah, when he says, I love him. But I love him.
But, Claudia,
Uh-huh.
really, yeah, you feel comfortable having this conversation about going down on your friends in front of your 3-year-old niece?
She doesn't understand.
Okay.
You'd be amazed what kids understand, Claudia.
All right, well, anyway,
What's interesting is I suspect she was sort of exposed to things at a young age that people assume she didn't understand.
well, you've been on this show long enough to have had one of her parents call in when she was 3, if that's what you're talking about.
That's basically what I'm saying.
So, Claudia, anything happened to you growing up? Exposed to anything?
Sexual abuse?
Any abuse?
No.
No?
No.
No physical abuse?
Okay.
Physical, yeah.
Yeah.
Who
Okay.
physically abused you?
My dad.
All right. Is he an alcoholic?
He used to drink occasionally.
Okay. All right, so it starts to fit together here.
All right, so now, I mean, I just smell a little chaos in Claudia's life.
Yeah.
Like, she wants to stir it up. She's been married since 19. She's got a little chaos running in her blood with her abusive dad.
Where's my bourbon?
She's had a solid relationship with this guy for a number of years, and it's time to mix things up.
Yeah.
I don't know that she's really a lesbian. I don't know that she's in love with this woman. I think there's some intrigue here. And she's a
Yeah.
22-year-old woman who probably biologically almost doesn't need to be married.
Right.
This is sort of why you get married at 27 or
And
30.
having the abusive alcoholic dad kind of it's something else. How old were you when you lost your virginity?
Like 14,
14. How old was that guy?
18.
18. See the pattern there?
On the cusp.
Yeah.
So, Claudia,
Yeah.
are you willing to jeopardize your relationship with your husband?
No. I mean, I think he means more to me than anything.
All right.
Because he understands me and everything.
All right.
But I basically feel like maybe I have to try something else. But I know that I'm scared if I do anything, then I'm gonna lose the friendship with her.
Whoa, well, hang on a second. I'm trying to follow that.
Which is it? I mean, you're going to try something, or are you in love with this guy
Or
and
is your
scared
husband,
you may lose him?
Does your husband mean everything to you, or do you have to throw in some chaos and try something?
Well, I love him.
Oh my God.
All right.
No. All right.
So let's wrap it up. I don't know what we're going to do.
Yeah, Claudia. Your husband's really good to you, isn't he?
Yeah.
And that's a very scary place to be, to have somebody that really, truly is genuinely in love with you and who shows you tenderness. That's got to be a very scary thing to take from a man.
Yeah.
And when that happens, on some level, you can't tolerate it, and you got to throw something into the mix. And indeed, you've had some funny feelings about men, and I'm sure your sexual identity has been sort of screwed up by having the physically abusive dad and losing your virginity at a young age. But really, what this is escaping the stable, genuine, vulnerable relationship that you have with your husband.
So our prediction is you're going to do something else with this chick and somehow let your husband find out about it, maybe catch you, and now you've stirred it up.
And now you've screwed up that genuine relationship.
So maybe you should avoid that, Claudia.
All right.
All right?
All right, thanks.
Don't go over there drinking.
I won't.
Oh, yes, you are.
No, I won't.
I know you are.
You may have got that gene, too. You may have the alcohol gene. This may be part of all that need for chaos. Alcoholics need chaos.
Claudia, please call us back after you go over there drinking.
Hey.
Okay?
Okay.
Yeah, because I bet you're going to do some drinking and then some eating over there. All right, she's going to do it. She can't help it. She's 22.
Yeah.
We think this is it. It's preordained. It's going to happen. She got to do it. It's almost got to happen almost.
Not unless there's some treatment.
Yeah, but us, you know when they do those movies where they go back in time?
Yeah.
And they go, don't screw with anything because you may affect the outcome of the history and humanity?
Yeah, this is that.
This is that.
But when I think
we can't stop her from going down on this chick and her husband catching her, or we'll throw the world off its axis.
Think of the BS television shows like the Phil and the Oprahs and stuff. They go, find yourself. You just get yourself together. No way. There's an energy. There's a drive that just... she's got to contain herself. You can't be talked out of it. It's years of work to get out of that. Or some kind of recovery if she's open to that.
We got a question for Henry. Tiger Lily?
Hey, how you doing?
You're 27?
Yes, I am.
Got a question for Henry?
I do. Well, first I'd like to say, Henry, you're awesome. Well, all you guys are awesome.
Thanks.
But, Henry, I really admire your work.
Oh, thanks.
Let's see, since Black Flag, the person you've made yourself into is just amazing. Anyway, I'm in between bands right now, and my dream cover always was to do Slip It In, but in my version, I would do the guy vocals, and you would do, like, the more submissive girl vocals.
I had that one with Henry, too. I had that thing with Henry, too.
But you had a dream about that, you said.
Okay, so what are you proposing?
What's your plan, Tiger Lily?
Well, my plan is to just look for a new band, but I was just wondering if someone else got to do Slip It In with you on your Black Flag tribute album.
Yeah, a girl named Inger Laurie who was in a band called The Nymphs, and she sang great.
Oh, wow. Well, I can't wait to hear it.
And my boys play the track, and I had Mickey from the band Ween, a very good guitar player, play the outro guitar. So it's a pretty rockin' track.
Yeah, well, I can't wait to get it.
Yeah, tomorrow morning, get out there. It's worth it. Check it out.
I guess I'll have to set my alarm clock.
Yeah, there you go.
This is really cool to be talking to you guys. Anyway, but Henry, do you have any tips for me, like to make my next band bigger and better?
Well, yeah, get good players, play exciting music that you honestly feel a connection to, not music that you have to play, but music that you want to play, and that desire will come through, and you might get some fans. The best way, the way I've always had success with music is just practice a lot, and then realize that's about 35% of what you could be doing, and then practice slavishly and write obsessively, and then realize that you're probably being a little bit lazy, and then fully dive into it to where no one remembers your name anymore because you're holed up in your room writing great lyrics, and you're totally consumed with your music, and then you will have something.
So how do you have time for all the
That's enough.
Should we
That was
hear it?
good enough advice. That was sagely advice.
Should we
Doesn't
hear
need any
something
follow
else?
up to that. Do what Henry told you to do.
Tiger Lily, I wish you all the best.
And that's the same mindset that Drew and I used to approach this show. I mean, I'm here at oftentimes as early as 9:53, 9:54. Sometimes we stay if we take a picture with a band up to 12:02, 12:03. Last
That's
night,
true.
what time we get out of here?
12:04.
12:04.
That's dedication.
That is.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's hear something from Henry Rollins
Yes.
off the new CD, Rise Above. And this one is called
Oh, well, what is it? He hasn't set it up yet.
Anderson.
Sorry, I'm queuing and I'm listening to it and I love it. And hold on.
Okay. Oh,
He
Anderson.
was
It's actually really, really good. I like it a lot. I miss these songs a lot, Henry.
Well, here they are.
Anderson. Never
Wow.
excited about anybody.
No. That would be the title track to Rise Above, which is coming out tomorrow, everybody.
Yeah.
It's a bunch of Black Flag songs covered
Give
by
me
a
about
bunch of
20
cool
seconds
people.
to talk about this, just
Go
so I
ahead.
can say I did it. The album is a benefit record for the West Memphis Three, those three lads in jail. It's a great website. You can find out more about the case that put them in prison. The website is called WM3.org. Two great HBO documentaries, Paradise Lost Parts 1 and 2. A great book on the case is coming out tomorrow with our record. It's called Devil's Knot. It's by Mara Leverett. It's on Simon & Schuster. Very, very outstanding book written by this journalist who's been covering the case from day one. And I wanted to help out and cause some awareness and raise some money for these guys, so I figured Black Flag songs, we can get some cool singers to jump in on this, and press and retail will pause and go, whoa, what's this? Especially if the record turns out really good, and it did. And me and people with me have been working on this since April, about 7-8 days a week, as these kind of things take. And finally, it comes out tomorrow, so we're all really excited.
All right, so go out and support a worthy cause. Coming out tomorrow, and it should be right up any Loveline listeners' alley. So you got you got Black Flag, and you got all the bands you love covering all the songs, so you're home. Plus, it's one of those things that looks cool sitting around, even if you don't like it. You know what I mean? You got to have a few good ones floating around, like sliding around the car seat. Like when people climb into your car, it's always good to have a cool. I have a couple of cool CDs just plant. I actually glued them to the seat.
Oh, good. That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
this-
people climb in. Oh, let me
You
get
can
that.
just take the cover out and slide in Henry's.
Yeah. This
Okay.
is it.
This is what you actually put in the CD player?
No, I don't
Or
have
this
this. This is what you hear when I'm talking. All right, Henry Rollins here. Let's take ourselves a quick break. Anderson, stop that, and we'll be right back. Hey, everybody, it's Loveline. I'm Adam Carolla. That's Dr. Drew. Henry Rollins, our guest tonight. Always good to see Henry in the Loveline studios, and Henry's always got something new cooking. That's what we like about him. Spoken word, movie roles, TV sitcom roles, CDs, spoken word, and music. Rollins Band stuff, now Black Flag stuff, and that's the latest. Rise Above is what it's called. It's coming out tomorrow, which will be today for half the people listening to this show around the country, because we do a day delay, right, Drew?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. That's why you get the big bucks, Drew.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What you gonna do?
Hey, what are you going to do? So that's just look for it, and it's for a worthy cause. And even if the money was going to Mambla, it would still be a good CD to go out and buy.
Yeah, it came out sounding really good.
That's a Man-Boy Love Association.
Oh, yeah.
These are the guys in their 40s who think it's okay to bang 12-year-olds.
Yes, good times.
Yeah, I got
I've heard of them.
It's a great organization. So, but no, that's not what
You're
this
not
is
allowed to
going
judge,
through.
though, Adam. How
No,
dare you?
I can't judge.
Yeah.
I can't judge. Let's talk to Jenny, who's 21. Jenny?
Hi.
Hey.
Okay, my question is it dangerous for me to be giving blowjobs and having a guy come in my mouth if
Where did you say you went to finishing school?
if he is taking medication? Is that going to...
What medicine?
Fluvoxamine?
Luvox. So, no, that should be fine. Turns out those stimulants like speed are about 5 times higher concentration in semen than in blood. So speed, amphetamine, can actually be transmitted, and so can opiates to some extent, but not to the extent that you need to be worried about.
The smell of his cum smells very strongly of chlorine, and I didn't know if it was because of what he was taking.
Good times.
It's almost nauseating. It's so strong.
Is he a pool man?
No.
No.
Why don't you
Mine
have him-
smells of
Is there
diatomaceous
some way
earth.
to stop that.
I thought it was
Still
yours
put that in filters.
Yours is just, that's because it's powder form.
Yeah, mine's powder form.
Yeah. Is, oh my God. Any chance he could wear a condom? Maybe you guys could sort of do things that way, or maybe you needn't expose yourself to the fluids that way?
Well, do you have to ingest it, or
Right.
couldn't you just transport it into the bathroom?
I don't swallow it. It's just,
Smart.
Right. It's very, very strong.
Yeah. I think some guys got that Clorox thing going, and I don't know. I mean, do you love him?
Yeah.
All right.
Are you in college with him, or what?
Uh-huh.
Where are you in school?
Massachusetts.
Where? There's a lot of schools in Massachusetts.
UMass.
UMass Amherst or UMass Boston?
No, UMass Boston.
Boston, okay.
There
You're
was
both there.
an Amherst. He was a Lord Jeff. All right, Jenny. So I don't know if we helped to answer your question. No, he's all right because of the Luvox stuff or whatever.
Yeah.
It's gonna be all right.
Yes, but if it smells bad, you don't like it, don't expose yourself to it. It's all right. He'll
All
be
right,
okay.
and can I ask Henry how he stays in such good shape?
I work at it. I work out. I eat good food, and I take care of myself.
He's got a good genetic hand dealt to him, and then he doesn't abuse it. What do you do, Henry? You work out every day? You hit the weights?
I hit the weights, do a lot of calisthenics, and I try and eat just good food, low fat.
Have you changed your workout the last couple of years?
Yeah.
You used to be pretty heavy weight.
Yeah. I used to power lift, which will throw an extra 20 pounds on you, and I stopped that last year, so I just didn't need it. I'm not in competition, and that's one of those things where eventually your hips are going to blow out, your knees are going to blow out, shoulders. Yeah.
No.
And it's any hinge on your body, if you're doing heavy compound lifts, you're going to have bad luck after a
a certain
while.
age,
Yeah, so I'm in my 40s, so it's time to look at it more like I'm lifting for life. So I pull the weight down, up the reps, and do a kind of it's a harder workout now.
Do you use a trainer?
No. I just, put the tunes on real loud, and I do a lot more reps now, which is hard, man. I do a lot more calisthenics, a lot more abdominal stuff, and that's tough, man. Actually doing chin-ups and push-ups.
Yeah.
Not as gratifying.
This is grueling, but I tell you what, you get in some serious shape.
Nothing sucks more than a push-up or a chin-up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Especially when you're doing 20 of them.
But when you're
chin-ups
doing
suck.
sets of them,
Yeah,
like, okay, I
sets
have
of
to
20.
do like these and I can't leave until I finish, that'll get you.
I used to work out a bunch when I was younger, and I switched from heavier weights to this kind of thing. I would get these surges of desire to cry when you really get in the, sort of pushing it in the upper reps.
I could work myself into tears before heavy sets of squats, just because it was just make or break, and I get myself so psyched up, I'd start tearing up, and then I'd just like run at the bar and grab it and step back and start hitting it. Yeah, anything to get the lift done,
Nothing worse than a dip, by the way.
Oh, bar dips?
Yeah, that's the worst.
Try it with me. We'll do it with a 45-pound weight hanging from you from the belt. That's brutal.
Unless you're counting my balls and lower torso, there will be no 45-pound weight.
Did you?
I cannot
where
do
did you
that.
go to finishing school? UMass?
I went to North Hollywood, Mass. But yeah, the dip with weights is my teeth and hair weigh enough. That's my weight. I can't imagine adding weight to the dip. The dip alone is tough enough. And when you get down to the bottom, there's that point where doesn't want to move.
Each sort of kinesiology has its own sort of intolerant movement.
Yes.
For me, a dip is 0, no problem.
You don't mind a dip?
No problem.
You like a chin up?
No.
No, you don't. I don't like a chin up either. I don't like doing anything that that's hard.
You like remote pressing, beer hoisting.
Yeah, I mean, I'll work out hard, but it's got to be skipping rope. Like, I like to skip rope.
That's a great workout.
Yeah, it is, and I won't do any, and I don't mind it, so I won't do anything else. Stacy,
Yeah,
you're 28.
I am.
What's up now? You lost 150 pounds
Yeah, I know that's your favorite.
in 18 months.
It's all about because I don't really weigh myself very often, but I'm a whole other person smaller.
How'd you do it?
Low carb diet. I actually given up, and a friend of mine had to lose a whole lot of weight to be a kidney donor for her sister, and I watched her do it, and then, okay, I could do that.
Wow, just a simple diet. Isn't that great?
So how do you feel now? Feel really good?
Oh my God!
It's amazing, isn't it?
It's really amazing. Well, and the whole thing is if my body wouldn't have been predisposed to gaining the weight because of how diet's set up in America, then I probably would have been, the stripper girl you guys all talk about, the absent alcoholic father syndrome, whatever.
I tell you, America, a lot of Americans have like the worst diet. You see that when you see people line up to go into McDonald's,
Oh my God.
it's not like 3 or 4 people at McDonald's. It's a gang, like running towards this bad food. As a nation, it's a fat country with bad. I mean, you go to other places like Europe, they just don't eat like that.
Well, and this diet also changes your whole appetite. I don't really eat very
Balance
often.
it out by smoking and drinking, but they don't look that bad.
Right.
I don't know what it is. And what's weird about this country, though? We probably work out more than any country, too.
But you can't work out and then go to McDonald's afterwards and get any real benefit. It's hard on your heart. It's hard on, and then you pass it on to your kids. You see these dads loading up their kids with this crap. And that's the imprint of nutrition for these kids. At age 6, they're like, wolfing down the McDonald's and all that. And by the time they're 10, that's a meal.
Yeah, go ahead.
People also have, I think, lost the ritual of cooking for themselves. I think it's really important to prepare your food.
Yeah, good point.
All right.
So what's your question, Stacy?
Actually, I have one thing to say. I was kind of talked myself into calling because Henry Rollins and Dr. Drew are 2 on my top 10 man list.
They're both hot in very different ways, but I can see why they're on that list.
Yeah, we have that smoky intellectual thing going.
I saw Henry Rollins, actually in my hometown of Chico, a few years ago.
Oh, at the university.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've had some really good time. I've been to that university 3 times now. I love it there.
I'm going up there in 2 weeks, I think.
Great.
Or 3 weeks.
Yeah, you'll be working with a guy named John Ojamu, I think. Really, he's the coordinator guy. He's great.
I'm going up there in a couple of weeks, or 3 weeks, something like that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just moved from there, and I might plan a trip down there. Where are you going to be at the school? Or?
The school, yeah. I don't know exactly when.
So did you have a question from these 2 battling titans of intensity and wit?
Yeah. And by the way, Stacey, I'll be watching Chico and the Man, Nick at night when Drew's out at Chico State doing his thing. So in case you want to know. So what's up?
I'm interested. Now that I've kind of reversed my whole vision on everything and changed my whole body and everything, I want to turn it into a normal body. And I wanted to know about plastic surgery and from Drew, like what it's expensive and all that good stuff, but I really feel like I owe it to myself to put myself, right.
Sure, why not? Hey, listen, it's November 8th at 7 o'clock. That's all I know.
Are you going to Chico State?
Chico State on November 8th.
Would you focus on the caller?
Hold on a second about the plastic surgery thing. So you think you owe it to yourself to look like some Sports Illustrated swimsuit?
No.
You lose 150 pounds, you're going to have a lot of extra skin.
Yeah, if you lose a whole other person,
you're going to have a lot. People don't appreciate it. Can be
okay. So what can someone do?
You can have that taken off.
It's not as bad as some that I've seen. I've really, looked at a lot, but I want to wear, a sleeveless shirt. I have ugly underarms, and I don't want to, have you seen Carney Wilson from Wilson Phillips?
Did she have her arms redone, or?
Yeah, but she had her arms and a tummy tuck, and I think a boob lift, but I just want to look normal. I don't need to be.
Why not? Unfortunately, there's no other way to do that. That skin is not going away. It's not like it's suddenly going to retract. That's going to be with you, and you've done this amazing thing. Why withhold that from yourself? And these surgeries are not huge. They're not small. I won't kid you, but they're not huge, and they can be done fairly simply.
But at 28, doesn't she have a better shot of sort of reabsorption of this than she does at 38?
You know, I was talking to our buddy Ron. It was so big and lost, like
Ron Lester.
Ron Lester. If you want to see what it looks like, he can show you.
Great.
And, I don't. I don't want to see.
Well, is there any kind of number, any kind of place she can go to get advised in her part of the world?
You are up there, University of Oregon, right?
Yeah.
Go to University of Oregon School of Medicine. I guarantee you there are people that can do that, no problem. It's not. It's not a sophisticated problem.
And actually, I'll have to wait for a little while. I just went back to school. I want to probably get a master's and maybe a PhD. So that's going to be a problem with finances, but.
Well, if you go to the school, I know guys who've done stuff at the medical school, and they just use you like a guinea pig. I mean, they do a good job on you, but they give you a cut.
I think that's okay for haircuts. Anything else?
No, it actually isn't, because what you have is you have world-class people supervising and making sure things don't go wrong.
Yeah, you got the world-class guy going, wow, Larry, you really have to.
You didn't want to do that.
Woo! That's an F for you, and as a matter of fact, you're out of the program because this is irreparable. Henry Rollins is our guest tonight. He's got a CD coming out called Rise Above that's coming out tomorrow or today, depending on when you're hearing this show. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back after this. Loveline. Henry Rollins is our guest tonight. I'm Adam. That's Drew. Rise Above is the name of the new CD. It's 24 songs from the legendary Black Flag, and this is redone by some of your favorite bands. Henry, what are those bands? One more time.
Well, actually, the band is Mother Superior, who is also the Rollins band, but there's a lot of singers
Personalities.
involved. Mike Patton from Faith No More, Ice-T, Lemmy from Motorhead, Iggy Pop, Keith Morris from Black Flag, Chuck Dukowski from Black Flag, Kira Rossler from Black Flag, Hank Williams III. Ryan Adams did his own acoustic version of a song called Nervous Breakdown. Cedric from the Mars Volta, previously he was in a band called At the Drive-In. He puts in a really great vocal. Neil Fallon from Clutch does a really good vocal. It's
Exene
Cervenka and I sing Wasted together, and it's great to be able to duet with Exene because she's one of my heroes. And,
she's a tough lady. She's been on this show, but
yeah, and she's a great mom, tremendous writer, great singer, and I have all her records.
Well, let me say this to a lot of the guys who are not from the Los Angeles area and certainly maybe weren't here in the late 70s, early 80s and all that. And I'm surprised at a lot of guys I know who have no idea who X is.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, because we're here. We're used to it. We're
Some of the
listening to
best
K-Rock
shows I've ever seen in my life were X shows. Where you walk out of there going, I guess they're the best band in the world.
X?
I mean, they were so
yes.
good.
Her with John Doe.
When they sing
Great.
together?
Yes. Yeah, it's just a great sound. And people ought to go out and do themselves a favor and pick up a X CD.
Well, you know, they've actually, the whole catalog's been remastered. In the first 4 X CDs, which are my favorites, they've all had these really great extra tracks, like demos and all kinds of stuff. And they're remastered to perfection. I mean, I have them all, and they sound really punchy and loud, and they're really good.
Yeah. Yeah, I was just listening to
think about that was 20 years
Once
ago.
Over
Yeah.
Twice the other day.
Yeah, the 4th album, More Fun in the New World. This is one of the best albums I own. That and Under the Big Black Sun. The 3rd and 4th albums to me are just just peerless.
All right, so go out and get X, and while you're out there, you can get Rise Above. Danielle,
Yeah.
you're 21?
Yeah.
What's up?
I kind of have this weird problem. Every time I meet a guy, no matter where it is or how old they are or whatever, I always end up trying to figure out in my head what kind of a relationship it would turn into. And it's like I can't be friends with guys. I always want to turn it into a relationship.
Sounds like a guy.
Yeah. Let me understand this. You mean you just, let's say you just are meeting someone at a party, all of a sudden are you thinking, is this the one?
Yeah.
That kind of thinking. Or it's not that you've actually gone further than just talking and you're sort of hooking up with the guy, and then in your head you're thinking, is this the one?
Yeah.
Well, wait a minute. She's
What, are you saying that you have difficulty just having a platonic relationship with a male, that the idea that there could be something else going on always seems to enter into it and get in the way of having just being friends with a guy?
Yeah.
And does that cause you some kind of stress just going out and hanging out?
It does, because, I mean, even with, like, the guys that I work with and stuff like that, I'm always, I'll try and be their friends and stuff like that, but then in the back of my head, I'm always thinking, I wonder if I could hook up with this guy or whatever.
But do you hook up with him?
No, I don't.
All right.
By hooking up, do you mean just hooking up, or do you mean having a relationship?
I mean, like having a relationship.
Okay.
Are you in a relationship right now?
No.
Okay, well, it sounds like you want to be. Do you want to be?
I do, but...
part of where that's coming from.
All right. Hold on.
Yeah, Daniel, it just sounds like every 21-year-old.
I'm labeling this a non-problem. And
yeah, it's what everyone your age is thinking. I mean, you may be thinking you're the only brain doing this, but everyone else is...
I do it all the time.
Within everyone else's skull, that's what's going on.
I do it in restaurants. You see like 4 nice-looking women. You go, okay, me and her, we're going out, and what's that going to be? And then the entree comes, and you have your face in your food, and you don't think about it.
There's a little bit different than that some women describe.
The hot waitress, even, is always a distraction.
Yeah, but then you always, of course, create some masturbatory scenario that you take home with you, right?
No, I leave it there.
You leave it there at the restaurant. Okay.
That's my tip.
Yeah, I understand.
Hello.
It's 15%, bud.
I've heard a lot of women that they've described to me a feeling that there's a little different side to this where they start dating someone and immediately in their head they start going, is this the one? There's sort of a marriage thought that kicks in.
That could be a baby clock ticking.
Could be, but
women have a lot of intense chemistry going on that men don't have.
Absolutely true. But women do tend to do that kind of thinking a lot more than men do in a relationship.
All right. Well, she's 21.
Yeah.
I agree
I think
with
she's
Henry.
in fine shape.
Yes.
I would advise just hang out with more guys and just kind of.
How about asking some guys out?
Yeah,
Go
and
ahead.
just figure out that it's okay to hang out and be friends, and you don't have to have all that pressure.
Sally, you're 31. What's up?
Hi, Dr. Drew.
Hey, Sally.
Nice to talk to you tonight.
Nice to talk to you.
Well, I was having sex the other night, and I was on top, and I was very excited, and so much fluid came out. I'm not sure what it was, if it was cum or if it was urine.
Probably the female ejaculation. That's probably what it was.
Wasn't urine?
Probably not.
Wouldn't you, we never really got into this, but wouldn't you feel like when you urinate, isn't that a sensation that you recognize, Sally? I know you're in the heat of battle, but wouldn't you still recognize that feeling?
Yes, and I didn't think I did, but he sure thought I did.
Yeah, guys kind of freak out because they don't understand where this is coming from, and they immediately presume it's urine. But it actually,
So where is it coming from?
it's all the glands in that area. It's a female. It's not. There is a urine version of this called female orgasmic incontinence, which is sort of uncommon. And the more common thing is that occasionally women will just create a tremendous flood of fluid and sort of an ejaculate.
Is that the normal lubrication fluid?
Basically the same glands producing just all of a sudden
it's
a big gush.
very enthusiastic.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the guys just do the math. It's like, hey, look what's squirting out of the vagina.
Must be pee.
That's the guy math.
Yeah.
And by the way, if you had something solid coming out of your rectum, we'd do a different kind of math there. Maybe we'd be right, maybe not.
Oh, my
We'd
God.
probably be right on that one, right, Drew?
Yes,
Either way, it's time to get out of the way.
But in any case, she's healthy and it's okay.
It's all good.
Oh, yay, I'm so happy.
Is he all right about it?
Yes, and for your other caller that had the gentleman with the smelly cum,
Yes,
have
yes.
him drink pineapple juice.
Yeah, so we hear. But well, we've tested that on this show, believe it or not.
And did it work?
Doesn't stand up to scientific scrutiny.
Is that true, Drew? Because I
Long time
swear...
ago.
Drew said Adam
Long
tasted
time ago.
very, very salty on the evening. Okay, next caller.
No, you'll... that's
No, we
very
had some couples.
very funny, Henry, but I was in my car listening to that show
Oh, is that
because
right?
I was swinging a hammer for a living when you did that show,
Wow.
probably now 11 years ago or so.
At least, yeah.
And I even knew where I was.
Wow.
Like, I was driving in...
Drew the roofer.
I was driving in to do some work. Like, I was working late night at some gym, hanging something, and I was on, like, Wilshire and Western, and I remember listening, and you guys, stop me if I'm wrong, you had a bunch of couples call in, you had them actually tested.
We had them show up, some of them. We've had a couple.
Oh, I thought they just called in.
We had some
and then,
call in and some show up. They're both.
those were
That's
the
when you were
days.
doing your sturdy construction days?
That's right.
And you were like a real He-Man out there?
And I was just
on the
listening
slab?
to the show thinking, my God, I could be better than both those two tars. I remember announcing to the heavens, climbing into the bed of my pickup truck, staring up at the stars, lifting my hands up.
As
and
God is my witness.
As God is my witness one day.
Beseech you.
And then being struck by lightning. All right, Henry Rollins here. Rise Above is the name of the CD. We're going to take our quick top of the hour break, and we'll be right back after this. Hey, yo, Loveline. I'm Adam. That's Dr. Drew. Jurassic 5 in here tomorrow night. Henry Rollins in here tonight. Henry with many things to discuss, but tonight what's paramount is the new CD Rise Above, which is coming out tomorrow or today. Like I said, by the time you get up tomorrow morning, you should just play it safe and go out and get it. It's going to a worthy cause. It's Black Flag songs. And yes, Drew.
We have 3 calls. They're kind of intense. They've been on hold for about an hour. I've been
Oh,
trying to
let
get
him
to-
talk then.
So
That's a long time to be sitting
I
on the
understand.
phone.
Let's crank through these 3. Okay.
About an hour, 82 minutes here,
Yeah,
Drew.
yeah.
That's about an hour and
I
a half.
like you guys.
Robert?
Hey,
Hey, you're 16. What's up?
me, I'm 18.
All right, go right ahead.
You aged 2 years just waiting to talk to these two guys. Incredible.
Hey, what's up? I have a question. I'm going to be going to jail at an undisclosed time. I'm not exactly sure when. For having sex with a minor. I too was a minor. I was 16 and she was 12, and she lied to me about her age.
Yeah, and unfortunately, the law doesn't protect you because you're a minor.
What's that?
In other words, the fact that you're a minor doesn't protect you, really.
it does not.
No.
And
what about the part where it's 2 minors? Is that just one of those
No,
California things?
It's a California thing where the guy is guilty.
yeah, California sucks.
Okay.
Especially as more than, I think it's a 3-year age difference. Then you're.
Yeah, that's the way that it was explained to me.
So you actually have to do time.
Yes, I was going to go to YA tomorrow. That's with
Youth Authority.
Yeah, Youth Authority.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to call my public defender today to find out for sure if I was going to go.
Yeah.
And he goes, "Oh, by the way, Robert, you're not going to go tomorrow because they want to try you as an adult now." They like hardcore push that. So like,
who is going after all this?
Like the DA.
Are they trying to make an example of you? Or
Well,
something?
I guess there's some kind of a hierarchy of DAs or something, and like this DA doesn't mind, but like the DA's DA minds or something. There's so much crap that I've been putting up with because
This is a court that Adam is familiar with, the Burbank courts.
Oh yes?
Is it in Burbank?
Yeah.
Yeah. See,
I didn't know they went after actual criminals. I thought they just wrote tickets for chicken-ass things like jaywalking and things like that.
Pretty much though, because like my public defender said that I'm the most hardcore case that he's ever gotten.
Well,
Oh my God! What kind of time are you looking at?
8 years.
Oh,
no, you're not going to do 8 years.
Listen.
Wait, let me ask this, Robert.
Okay.
You must have some priors.
I don't. But listen.
Wait a
Her
second.
mom was making her cry rape. And
Wait a second. Wait a second. You have 0 priors.
0 priors.
You're just a good student going to school.
Yeah, I'm kind of an F up like with my grades, but like I don't have any priors.
Okay, so never been into trouble with drugs or anything like that.
No.
Okay.
And
well, so now this is rape, not statutory
Henry,
rape.
this is your next CD. It's to protect.
Yeah, get Robert out. Yeah. You got any more Black Flag songs left?
Well, and she didn't look 12 to you?
no, she was a
13.
developed 12-year-old.
But here's the deal with we know from doing the show that 12-year-old was somebody who was sexually abused when she was younger, that looked for sort of a victimizing experience, set it up, and Robert obliged. Now, it doesn't make it okay what you did, Robert, right? But we know that this is sort of evoked sometimes by the.
Well, here's the question: if and she was 15 and you were 16. That would have been
Not
above
as bad.
the board, or not as bad?
It could have been a problem, but the 3-year thing is the big issue.
Yeah, the 3-year thing's the big deal.
Okay, but the rape thing seems to be the bigger issue. I mean, that seems to be where the
And
years
this
are
is
coming
the
from.
rape issue is being called up by the mother? Is this to somehow save face of the girl, to make her look not so bad or something?
Because the girl originally lied to me about her age. And so one time I called and the mother started talking to me because the mother was cool with me. But then the mother found out that I was 16 and she knew that her daughter was 12, obviously.
How many times did you have an encounter with this girl?
I only met her once when I was up at this vacation spot.
So just one time you guys got together?
Well, yeah, it was this one night thing, and then we, like, it was this vacation place, so we hung out again like the next day, but then we separated, and then we talked on the phone for a little while afterwards, and then I got this letter in the mail saying that, like, I'm being prosecuted or
This is
whatever.
another situation where if he had the money to hire a good defense attorney, that could have been a non-issue.
Well, now what about the part where she's saying she was raped? I mean, they're going to be able to prove that?
It's not really up to her. It's up to, like, what the DA wants to say.
Whether he's gonna
Even if
go
she
Well,
said
what were the circumstances of your sexual encounter? Did you ply her with alcohol?
Well, no, I was a little under the influence.
Right.
And it was all mutual. She was a little bit uneasy about it, but I'm very certain that I didn't force her. I didn't threaten her, and I didn't physically...
What's the DA going to say?
The DA is going to say that what she says now means nothing in accordance to what she was feeling at that time, because now she might have just changed her mind about the way she felt about me, and, you know, maybe I talked her out of it and all this kind of stuff.
But he was really sweet.
Do you have any... and by the way, you know what works good on the DA? Just call him Duh all the time. So don't say DA. Just go, Mr. Duh.
So do you have a lawyer? Are you prepared for this? This is very serious.
I just had the public defender.
What about your family?
Now, see, the reason I'm calling mostly, I want to know how to deal with, like, panicking, because I've been dealing with this for about, like, 9 or 10 months. I've been knowing that I'm going to jail, and I thought I was going to go in tomorrow, but now it's changed. It could be another, like, 3 or 4 months.
And this jail is pre-trial? Is that what this is?
What's happening tomorrow is the DA is gonna try to get a fitness filed, which is a thing where I go to this like shrink for the court that decides if I'm fit to be tried as a minor. There's 5 criteria. I fail one of those 5 criteria, and that's enough to get me tried as an adult. So I'm going to be tried as an adult.
Yeah, here's a couple of tips. First off, when you show up to meet the therapist, wear the little Lord Fauntleroy outfit. You know, the knickers with the hat.
So,
feather in it.
You basically have told us the truth, and so you have no gray areas. So, in order to defend yourself, you would be telling anyone who asks you the straight up truth. There's nothing that you'd be shading to further your freedom, right?
That's right.
Okay, so I think the job tomorrow is be very careful to make sure your truth is very easily understood by this person. And if Drew, I don't know how much you know about. Well, I think Adam probably has more experience with criminal matters.
Thank
you. Doesn't it, if this person is arrested, aren't they automatically entitled to legal representation?
Well, he's getting a public defender, but they got a lot on their docket. Hey,
also,
Robert,
what if you go to a different city, if he could be transferred to a city that has real crime in it?
What?
You know what I mean?
It was already transferred down from where it happened at, which was part of the reason that it's been taking so long.
Well, let me ask you this. What about your parents?
My parents are, they're on a roller coaster. Like, it's either grief or, like, anger.
But are they involved at all? Can they get together any money? Does anyone know?
My mom thinks I deserve it, and my dad just, like...
Nice.
Just doesn't think he can do anything.
But your mom thinks you deserve 8 years?
I hope he goes
not
to
8
jail,
years,
and I
like-
hope he becomes somebody's
Somebody's
bitch.
on parole.
What's that?
I can be paroled after 2.5 years.
All right. So here's the thing, Robert. I got 2 things to say. One is I have some faith in the legal system.
Yeah,
some faith.
Yeah.
And I think right now you're trying to be, they're scaring you as much as they possibly can.
They've done it.
They've done a fine job. I don't see you doing 8 years.
No.
I don't either.
I would bet that you're not even going to do time.
Yeah.
But I know right now everyone's doing their best to make you not ever do
I
this
think he's
again,
going to
and it's
get.
working.
He's going to get you're going to do the thing of counseling, and they're going to scare the crap out of you.
Right. On the other hand, you may want to try to get some law firm to do a little pro bono work on your behalf.
Yes.
I mean, anything but this public defender has got no time for you.
And see if you can get something about this woman's profile, too, the young girls. I mean, that I think would have
He needs to speak to somebody who's doing a little pro bono
Any girl
work.
who's being sexually provocative at age 12, there's something going on in that household. I'm sure you guys have seen this a million times.
Well, let me paint the scenario with mother calling right now.
Yes. Mom was raped by dad.
Or somebody.
Or some male, yeah. Mom
Somebody
had been sexually abused when she was growing
Yeah,
up.
so she's getting back.
Now
No,
she's...
she did pay back. Also, she sees this as a violation of her.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Well, and you know what? Any good psychiatrist will see it too. So.
That's true.
Don't count on that. But here's the thing. I really think they're trying to scare young Robert, and maybe that's a good thing for him at this point in his life, but they may be overdoing it. And he should be able to find out about, isn't there some number you can call for just legal advice or pro bono legal advice?
Legal Aid Society.
Call the Legal Aid Society.
Yeah.
And see if you can find any information at all about your situation. Andrea,
Yeah.
you're 15?
Yeah. My phone's gonna die, so I'm sorry if it cuts out.
Hurry. Another 70-minute waiter.
Yeah. Last year when I was still 14, I went to my friend's house and 2 of my friends were drinking, but I didn't. And well, my friend Nikki left, and so it was just me and my friend Mark.
Okay, and the guy raped you. I'm reading the screen.
Basically, yeah.
And was our last caller?
What's your question?
It wasn't, I wouldn't consider it rape, but like every time I tell my story to someone, they're like, oh yeah, he raped you.
Okay, but what is the question for us?
Every time I try to get close to a guy, like, I want to get close to a guy and I want to do stuff, but like...
Well, I imagine there's something larger going on here than just this single exploitation. In other words, why were you 14 with older age kids drinking and
No,
stuff?
he wasn't. He was my age.
All right, but be that as it may, where's your dad?
I don't live with my dad.
Did you ever know him?
I met him when I was 5.
Okay, so you've had an abandoning relationship with your father.
Yeah.
And by the way, if your phone cuts out, just go turn up your radio.
All right.
And we'll finish through the speakers for you. Okay, so your dad abandoned you. You got yourself in a bad situation.
But of course it's going to be difficult to be close to males. You felt exploited, you felt violated, and you felt abandoned all through your life by men. So of course it's going to be difficult to be vulnerable.
Right, and it's not this incident that has done the lion's share of the damage to you and your relationship with males.
Being re-traumatized certainly doesn't help things and can be quite powerful in terms of how it affects you, and you ought to think about getting some help with that, even if it's just a women's group or support group or individual therapy if you want. But there's a bigger picture going on here, Andrea.
Like, because I wanted to, like, mess around with him, but I told him no, and I couldn't physically get him off of me.
Well, that's rape.
Yeah, that's
and you may want to pursue this legally. How long ago did this happen?
It was actually July 13th last year.
Last year.
So it's about 18 months. It's very hard to prove.
Yeah,
I think.
it'd be really tough. But you listen. But again,
I wouldn't want to press charges. I mean,
I would think you'd want some.
I don't think it's all his fault.
Well, you know what? Bottom line, this situation has made you feel bad enough to call this show. Lesson learned. Don't be messing around with guys on alcohol. Don't be in a situation with a guy you can't walk away from. And maybe sex is something you want to take a moment out before you jump into at your age. I just don't, maybe I'm old-fashioned, but I just think that 14 or 15 is just not the age to be losing your virginity with guys in houses on booze. It's just, it doesn't sound like it's doing anybody any good here.
And also, you know, the fact that you're a little bit tentative around guys right now and are steering clear of a relationship and don't want to be intimate with a guy right now at age 15.
Maybe a good thing.
Probably a good thing.
Protective, yes, absolutely.
And so now you can take this next couple of years, get a little therapy, read a couple books, listen to a little classical music, go on a long walk, and then when you're 17, you'll be all right emotionally. You can have sex with anyone you want.
Henry's got the look of...
I guess I'm just old-fashioned. I just reckon 15-year-old girls should not be...
No.
You know what?
The brain isn't developed to handle that yet.
Yeah, when you're 17, maybe, and I'm not some uptight, puritanical guys like, gee, give yourself a break. Don't take all that pressure on yourself. You don't even know how your own biology works. And guys, any females listening, trust me, guys are so ready to go with you, your sister, your mom, anyone who will sit still at that age. They are a smoking gun ready. You must discriminate, and you must be really careful knowing that the guy you like and all of his friends all want the same access to you, and not in a horrible way. You're interesting to them. That's how it's supposed to be. But man, be careful.
Put that on a loop, please, Henderson. That's nice.
No, it's true. I was thinking while Henry was talking, it's almost like the same thing you would do. Like, you wouldn't put a diamond-encrusted watch on and go down to Harlem at 4 in the morning and just walk through the streets
and then
in a pair of shorts.
Angry when people came at you.
It's the same.
How dare they?
The same precautions. I mean, that not all guys are bad, but if you get in a situation with a horny 15-year-old and he's drinking and there's no one in the house, something may go on. Do not put yourself in that dark alley, that proverbial dark alley.
Also, just the entry-level knowledge of just how the anatomy works. The guys get off easy. For guys, sex is always, it's an outgoing experience, and when they ejaculate, it's over. Women, it's all incoming. So you get stuck with anything the guy's going to give you, for better or for worse. And so if there's any sexually transmitted diseases, you're getting the delivery, and you should really think about that.
Including the ultimate sexually transmitted disease, pregnancy.
Yeah, and at a young age, you're very fertile, and just because the parts work doesn't mean you have to go road test them until you're like a senior. You have the rest of your life to have all that fun. You can. It's okay not to do it at 14.
Well,
that's intense.
We've never spoke to a woman who inside of the studio, on the phone, or even outside of the studio, that wishes they'd lost their virginity 6 months earlier.
That's right. Ever. Or wishes they hadn't waited. That's
Yeah. They always wish they'd added a year or two to it. So just go ahead and add that, ladies, please. Besides, what do we care?
I had never met a guy.
I'm interested in a 15-year-old guy getting laid.
Never met a guy who didn't want to have had it earlier, guys.
Absolutely.
Guys always... In fact, there's an interesting piece of data out there that showed that men with high self-esteem have sex at a young age, and lots of sex. And women with high self-esteem have no sex.
There you go.
At a young age.
Well, that's
interesting. Yeah.
That sounds like about 20 calls I've been in this place for over the last so many years, with a girl who had no self-esteem. We were in here together many years ago. There was a girl who serviced like 5 guys at a dance, in the parking lot. Because and I said, why? She goes, I just want them to like me. Well, I said, well, they don't like you. You were just a receptacle. They don't even know your name. So, get some esteem. And so you say, women, it's always the women who are really worth having. Who you say, hey, how about it? And they just go, get out of here, Junior. Learn my name first. That's the way to be.
I think I heard that show too. Julia?
Yes.
You're 21.
You remember where you were?
Hey, how about I go home and hear the rest of this show? That'd be a triumph. I'll listen.
Hi, Julia.
Hi. I was calling because I'm thinking about donating my eggs. And I know you guys had a call about this a couple days ago, and I wasn't really clear on the answer in regards to not being able to have kids later on after you donate your eggs.
I don't know the numbers off the top of my head, but I don't think there is significant problems with fertility.
Okay, well, see, the problem is I've had an abortion before, and I know that, I don't want to do too much work down there before, I start, you know what I'm saying?
Well, why do you want to donate your eggs?
Well, number one, I feel bad for the abortion. I was really young, and I want to give back kind of to, life, not only, having kids myself, but other people who can't have kids,
Interesting.
And, just, of course, I can't not say it's not for the money, but,
Right.
because they do pay pretty good money, but the majority of the reason is because of, just to give back, and, it's kind of just...
Well, how much do they pay?
Well, the place I was looking at, about $5,000 and up, they can...
Per egg.
Wow. Per egg?
No.
Per harvest?
Per harvest.
Right. And they can pay you for, if you have like a high GPA, your transportation, stuff like that.
Right now, I know we got some stone male listeners going, dude, we got to donate some eggs. We got to get in on this booty. $5,000.
Well, I can understand the monetary appeal, but as far as wanting to give something back, you could also just be the greatest mom
parent,
ever when it's time to do that, and that would be giving the world a well-adjusted kid, which this country could use way more of.
You could adopt your second kid. You could go down to the shelter.
I got to think there's no shortage of eggs in places, and if you're looking for money, I would harvest some money and not have some guy messing with my body.
Well, it's an interesting. What's interesting is she feels maybe a little guilty and a little weird at the fact that she had an abortion some years ago, and I understand that. But how much weirder? She thinks she's going to feel better when she sells an egg?
Yeah.
I would argue that down the road,
she might feel worse.
She's going to feel even worse.
Yeah, the idea of like you getting cash money for a piece of your body is extremely intense.
I got a plan. Julia?
Yes.
Here's what you need to do.
Okay.
You're not going to want to hear this.
Okay.
You're going to need to donate that egg and then take that money and donate it.
Ooh.
Donate the egg and take the money?
And then donate the money.
She only heard that.
Donate the money.
Yeah, if you're serious.
If you really want to do what's right.
I could totally do that.
Could you do that? Because I think then if you took that money and gave it to some battered women's shelter,
a lot of orphanages
that would make you you would sleep like a baby.
Yeah.
And karmically, you'd be in line to you'd marry a rock star and never cheated on her. Maybe even Henry.
Well, I do have one more question about it.
She's never going to do that.
I have been on Depo-Provera for over a year now, and they told me that I have to go off of that and have 2 regular menstrual cycles before I can start doing the egg donation or the process of.
Right.
And my question is, I talked to my doctor, and apparently she doesn't know anything about it, and the people that I talked to in the clinic say, well, we're not going to talk to you until you actually have 2 regular menstrual cycles.
What's the question?
And my question is...
Today, Junior!
Sorry. My question is, do I go on birth control pills, or do I just stay off of the birth control altogether?
You need to be off everything, and it may take up to 6 months to get normal cycling going.
Okay.
So.
Okay.
All right, Julia. Hey, call us back after you make that donation to the woman's shelter, all right, baby?
I will. I swear. I'll get a receipt, too. Thank
All right,
you.
Julia. Take care.
All right, and listen, there's a Loveline windbreaker in it for you.
Oh, that's great. Thank you.
Yes.
Okay,
all right.
guys.
I'll go on.
Bye.
All right. she's not going to do that. It'd be nice.
That's a really good idea, Adam.
It wasn't a bad idea, but the problem is
you know people.
I think she was using that sort of donate the egg and the abortion thing, and she'd sort of worked it in her behalf.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And as a way to make an easy $5,000.
So this way she won't even have the eggs harvested. In her mind, if she were to have had it done, she would have donated the money. But coincidentally, magically, she just won't get the eggs harvested.
I hate to be the guy who says the ovaries are half full, but half empty. But yeah, I think they're half empty.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, let's take ourselves a little break. Henry Rollins here tonight. Rise Above is the name of the latest CD. It is a compilation of Black Flag songs, 24 to be exact, and it's going to a worthy cause. So that is out today and right now for those of you who are listening on a day delay. We'll be right back after this. Hey, everybody, it's Loveline. I'm Adam Carolla. That's Dr. Drew. Phone number. We got enough calls.
This is Jurassic 5. We'll be up here tomorrow night.
That's
right. This is my favorite bumper. This is it.
You're just saying that because
No, it really is. This is my favorite bumper.
All right, Henry Rollins. Henry's my favorite bumper. Henry's got a CD called Rise Above, which is coming out now. Just consider it out. And it's Black Flag songs, and it's done for a very worthy cause by a bunch of notable people. And it's good, and we're going to hear something else off of it. And I think what we'll do, and Henry, you look like you wanted to say something. Is there?
I just wanted to tell you guys, I have a TV show.
Cool.
Starts on October 20th on the Learning Channel. It's called Full Metal Challenge. And if you remember Junkyard Wars, the nice English girl who hosted that.
Is Ice-T on this with you?
No. Ice has his own show, which is really cool.
Listen, I love Junkyard Wars, by the way. I'm a complete gearhead, and I love that show.
The Learning Channel's putting this on?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
If you remember Kathy, the English host, it's me and Kathy, and we shot this crazy show with all these automobiles in England all summer, and it starts October 20th, Sunday, and it's really awesome. And she does all the interviews, and I'm calling you're kind of your color man. They turn me loose without a script, and I just basically just jump around.
What's the premise?
The premise is 27 teams of 3 people get $3,000 in 1 month to build a vehicle from scratch to be put through endurance tests, but no one tells them what the tests are.
Right.
South Africa, Russia, Germany, England, all kinds from everywhere came. China, South America, all these teams, and we had a 250-man crew build these series of games on a deserted power plant on the southeast coast of England, and there are like life-size games. Like you can drive your car on this roller coaster they made, and so these guys get there not knowing what they're dealing with,
right? And
they get their life-size bowling alley, 150-pound pins down a greased track,
and they got to plow through the pins.
Yeah, and the cars are rolling. We had a sumo wrestling match for cars in one of the cooling towers.
It sounds totally cool, but the Learning Channel?
Yeah.
Well, Junkyard Wars was... Oh, that's on...
No, Junkyard Wars is TLC.
Really? Yeah.
And we shot this... we worked our butts off all summer making this show, and we're still doing the voiceovers.
Well, why can't learning be...
Hey, I'm all for it. Yeah.
I mean, that's what this show is, isn't it? You learn something, you get a little entertainment. I make a fart joke, you get a little knowledge. It's all good, right?
All about it.
Yeah, you watch this Junkyard Wars, you learn a lot about a lot, from a mechanics and physics standpoint. It's interesting.
Yeah, it's fun.
Cute.
People should check it out.
I'm going to watch this.
Yeah, it sounds fabulous.
Sunday, and true, you're not going to watch, but I'm going to watch. I love all this stuff. All right, and wait a minute, one last question about the show. Can they modify the cars to suit the activity once they get and see what the activity is?
No. In fact, the drivers aren't allowed to see the game until they roll up on it.
Really?
Yeah, and all the drivers are kept from the game. Their other 2 teammates can watch.
And when you say $3,000 to build a car from scratch, are you allowed to get a junked-out car and rebuild it, or are you welding?
Yeah. No, these guys are welding. The French-Canadian team built a small tank. The Chinese team had to find, old tractor vehicles. The Russians
they did it in the country of origin?
Yes. And the Chinese, the Flying Horse team had to build, it was wacky, their vehicle. It was great, but these poor guys had no parts. One of the English teams, all 3 guys worked for Land Rover, so their machine was all brand new Land Rover parts, and when they turned it on, the engine was so finely tuned you could barely hear it.
Oh, wow.
And it's just a great show because these guys are all just really great engineers. And the small vehicles were beating the big vehicles. A team of 3 really pretty Australian girls, these 3 drag racers from Australia, were beating all these big macho guys in their huge Terminator vehicles. And, you know, it's great stuff.
Yeah.
And it's a 250-person crew building. The games are insanely huge and really well built, but dangerous. And so the drivers have to be really good. So it ended up being a great experience, and I'm so proud of it. It's coming out in a few weeks. I'm really excited about it.
All right, that's Full Metal Challenge, October 20th on Sunday. Go home, set my TiVo, Drew.
All right,
you'll get a full report.
Get on your knees, scumbag!
That's Full Metal Jacket reference. You see, Drew had no idea what that was, right?
Yeah, you're right.
Yep.
Now that you mention it, though, I did.
I love that movie. You're 29, Richard?
Yes.
What's up?
Okay, I'm dating a girl, and she was working as a prostitute when I first met her. And we've been together for like 7 months. And I'm wondering, the whole damaged goods thing, like, is this going to... I think I can forget about her past, but I'm wondering, can she... And what kind of trouble am I asking for?
Really, you get bogus call here?
Yeah.
No, it's not bogus.
I don't get bogus. Well, what do you mean working as a prostitute?
No, she was a prostitute when I met her.
Where'd you meet her?
Mexico.
Mexico?
Yeah.
Were you a sort of...
Why were you in Mexico?
I was down there with friends partying.
Uh-huh. And was she... Yeah?
And I met her in a bar down there, and it wasn't like she was walking the street. She was working in a bar, and it's, anyways, I got her phone number, and I started calling her, and...
Did you know she was a hooker that first night?
Yeah.
Did you pay for sex with her?
Yeah.
Did you do that more than once?
No, just the first night. And then after that, she was calling me, I was calling her.
Where in Mexico?
Tijuana.
Is she still working as a prostitute?
No, absolutely not.
What's the name of the main drag in Tijuana?
Revolution.
All right, you're in, buddy. You're in.
I'm sitting in the bar.
You're in.
Okay.
You're in. Which bar are you in?
I'm just concerned. Anyways, she stopped doing that. When I told her, I said, if this is going to go anywhere, you can't continue. She said, I don't want to continue to do this. I just have to do it to help my family
and
the cell phone.
Oh boy. All right, so let's figure this out for a second. Drew, you spent any time at any of those bars on Revolution in Tijuana?
Only in my imagination from the store. Many, many, many stories you've told.
I'm telling you, I've seen guys going down on women in the middle of the stage. Aye!
Good times.
Middle of the stage. Guys with their heads buried in women's crotches, women lying down on the stage in the middle of the stage.
So what did your friends say when you came back to the table after you did? Did they give you a shot of tequila? Did they pound you on the back after you did that? I mean, what was the reaction?
I didn't. Oh, yeah, maybe I did do that. I don't remember.
Richard, you there?
I was 16.
He's gone.
Richard. All right, his phone's gone.
I swear that's a bogus call.
Yay! Got the Revolution Street and the Tijuana stuff
Revolution
down.
Just from listening to your stories.
All right, Drew. Okay, here's the thing. If this is true, and here's what we do on this show. Sometimes Drew has an idea that something's bogus. Sometimes we both think something's bogus. But there's certainly people who are listening to this show, even if this call's bogus, who are in this situation or maybe close to this situation or might come upon this situation.
That fall in love with a hooker, very common thing.
If you do this, keep in mind that there's a reason she's doing what she's doing.
Yeah.
And sex aside, there's an emotional component here.
Oh, yes.
And even if she agrees never to do this again, that is still just the beginning of your long journey.
Of recovery for her.
That's right.
Oh, yeah.
That's right. If you never thought once about her being with someone else and she never thought about it again, you would still just have a screwed up person who you were attempting to have a serious relationship with.
Absolutely.
So keep that in mind. On the other hand, do people deserve second chances? Do they deserve relationships? Of course they do. Don't have kids. Do not have kids. Have both eyes open and take it slow.
There you go.
Thank you very much. And Susie?
Yes.
You're 23?
Yes.
You're 6'3"?
Yes.
Wow.
Well, like 6'2" and a little bit.
All right. What's up?
Actually, I have a question for Henry. Can I ask him real quick?
Mm-hmm.
I'm right here.
Henry.
Yes.
I saw you in House of Blues in Vegas.
Uh-huh.
Are you coming back there or coming to the West Coast for spoken word?
Next year. Go to my website. 80 show tour starting in January, worldwide.
Okay.
Never would leave Las Vegas out.
So I'm actually in Phoenix right now.
Well, I'll be there too probably at the Celebrity Theater, and I'll know it's you because I'll throw the basketball into the crowd, and you'll pull it out of the air with one of your mighty mitts.
Cool.
Anything else?
Yeah, West Memphis 3. I watched both videos,
Yes.
and I was practically crying.
It's a pretty intense deal.
And everyone I meet, I tell that they need to watch that.
Yeah, have them watch the documentaries, go to the website, check out our record, and if you really want to see the real brutality of the story, read Mara Leverett's book. She's the journalist you see in part 2 of the documentary. Her book comes out on Tuesday of this week. I don't know what time zone you're in now. I guess it's almost midnight there. But it's a very fine book, very well written, but unfortunately there's no happy ending because the 3 lads are still in jail. But if you want to become more informed about the case, that's a source, of course. WM3.org is another great way to be informed about the case, and you can get the address of the governor and write him a letter, or even better, you can get the address of the 3 boys, and they love getting mail.
I've actually written Damon.
Yeah, well, Damien wrote me recently and said he's been blown away by all the mail he's been getting. So it keeps those guys' spirits up. They've been in there 9.5 years, so it's tough.
Are these the guys who were busted for the sort of ritualistic murder that they confessed to when they were like 15 or 16, but it didn't actually go down?
The semi-retarded boy.
Yeah, tell us the story.
Well,
I think I know.
One of the boys is mentally challenged and was held for about 12 hours without. It was arrested. It was not read his Miranda rights. He was basically yelled at and screamed at. And in the last 45 minutes, the tape recorder was turned on, and he gave it an extremely error-ridden version of what happened after being fed information by the cops. This was quickly printed into the West Memphis Commercial Appeal, the newspaper, as like the confession. You know,
But the original case, the body there was a young boy who was killed in some sort of ritualistic way?
There are 3 boys killed. All 3 were tied up with the shoelaces of presumably their shoes. One was mutilated very intensely in the genital area, bite marks.
Like out in the forest kind of thing?
Yeah, well, the bodies were found in the forest, but there's no evidence that was the kill site, but merely the dumping site. I don't think you can corral 3 kids anywhere and do this kind of act in the outdoors without someone going, "Hey, what the hell are you doing?" So it was done inside.
You know what's absolutely amazing me, because I've seen this story and I've seen stories like it. They actually people will confess, especially if you're 15 or 16 years old, or your mind isn't as clear, or maybe as clear. Some of the people that call this show,
they basically gave the information to this boy
that they'd confessed it.
I'm saying I've seen cases, because all I do is sit home Friday nights and watch like 20/20 and 48 hours and all this kind of stuff. So I really have and I drink pretty heavily, but I watch these shows, and it's like they'll take some 15 or 16-year-old kid, they'll start shaking him down, and 2 hours later they come out with a full confession, and as it turns out, they find out later the guy never left his house. They do confess. Kids will, teenagers confess to things.
Never underestimate the desire of a kid to go home. Just who else wants to go home and be with his parents after getting screamed at by a cop? I mean, you could get a sheriff to come in this room right now and browbeat any one of us, and after a couple hours, you'll think you have marijuana in your car trunk. I mean. And the boy has the mind of an 8-year-old, and he was utterly terrified, and he was fed all this information, and his, quote, confession is so, it's wrong. Because he didn't do anything. He's kind of this, they say, yeah, well, start again. It happened at night. He goes, okay, well, at night I did this. They went, no, it was by a river. He says, okay. At night, I was by a river. Yes. And the guy just thought, I say the right thing, I get the cookie, I go home.
So what are those guys like 25, 26 now?
Yeah, they're in their early 20s, yeah.
All right. Let's take a break.
Tough stuff.
By the way, I do have some weed in my trunk. I don't know if that's what Henry was alluding to.
Hey, I have a question. You sit home and drink and watch all these TV shows at night, yet you're married. Your wife lets you get away with that?
Married last week.
She's not going to let me get away with it more for another 2 weeks. But yeah, she loves sitting home. Her favorite thing is to watch me watch TV.
Wow, what a gal.
That's a winner.
Yeah.
I knew she was marriage material when I was watching TV and looked over at her, and she was watching me watch TV.
Going, whoa, watch
TV.
TV.
Nodding her head
Right.
Yeah,
right.
He sure can watch.
This guy
That's my
watches.
guy.
He watches his TiVo with an intensity that no other man I've been with has, and that's what won her over.
We need to get to this Henry song, so after we get back.
Okay.
All right.
Henry Rollins here. Hey, everybody. Loveline. I'm Adam. That's Dr. Drew. Henry Rollins just talking about how he loved kids. Drew trying to talk him out of it. Rise Above is the name. No, it's not actually what happened. Rise Above, name of the new CD. It's coming out now. Consider it out, by the way.
15 minutes.
Be out in 15. That's right. We're going to hear something, our second cut off of that song. We got so involved with the calls tonight. Always it gets a little intense when Henry shows up, and that's fine by us. But we did put off playing a song, so we're going to hear the second cut off of that CD.
What are we going to hear?
Thirsty and Miserable.
Thirsty and Miserable with Lemmy from Motorhead singing.
This is it. Henry Rollins. Well, that wasn't Henry Rollins. That was Lemmy.
Yeah, he's so cool.
Rise Above is the name of the CD. Let's, out as we speak. Let's see if we can power a few calls before we got to break again. Kevin?
Yeah.
You're 16?
Hey, guys.
You've been on hold for 66 minutes to tell us you beat off on the carpet and you saw your dog licking it up?
Yeah.
Good times.
All right.
Yeah,
Great.
it's just, like, he was just looking the spots where I guess I...
Yeah.
See, if you had mascula out, you wouldn't have to worry about that.
So, is there a question in there?
I just want to know if like, something's going to happen to him.
The dog?
Yeah.
Yeah, he might turn into Orrin Hatch.
Or he can go gay, too.
He's fine. Unless you have something to give him, some sort of disease or something.
No.
Well, just a few more mouthfuls of that, and then turn him loose on a rock, and we can all get some sleep.
Yeah, Kevin, dogs eat crap, remember?
That's right.
Semen.
So does Orrin Hatch.
Semen's considered a delicacy to most dogs.
Oh, my
that's
God.
a nice step up. Well, they do, right?
Yes, they do eat Duke.
All right,
yes,
so they got pretty tough stomachs, those dogs. Rex?
Hey.
Speaking of dogs, what's up, Rex?
I had a problem with my penis.
All righty.
Okay, I'm uncircumcised.
Yeah.
And when the skin won't come back when it's red.
Yeah, there can be a stenosis of the foreskin, and that's an indication for a circumcision. It can kind of tear and stenose more, be uncomfortable, and that's a good reason to get that thing taken off when you're a kid.
But any way to loosen that thing up, work it up.
You can try.
Drew's very pro-circumcision.
Okay.
I'm very pro-circumcision the way I'm pro, like,
wrestling?
No, like anything else easy and quick in your life.
I just wanted to say pro-wrestling.
You know what I'm saying? Like pro-loop, oil change. Or, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
I pulled a skin back all the time when it's not erect.
Yeah.
Right.
And it goes all the way back fine, but then the tip goes down when I do that.
Yeah, because it's just stenotic, and so it pulls it down, So.
All right, any tips for a guy in Rex's situation short of circumcision at this stage of the game?
None that I know of.
No vitamins, no creams,
Water bomb.
no nothing.
And circumcision is an easy operation.
It's not fun at 20.
It's not going to be painless, but it's doable.
It's a safe operation.
But what about this? Why? I mean, here's what I don't understand. If this was not on the penis, wouldn't it be an easy operation if they had to remove this from your finger? I mean, they put a shot? Would they give you a local?
Yeah.
What do they do?
I
mean, here's what I guess I'm saying. Here's what always seems like to me. I was giving this some thought today in the office. I don't know why. But the idea, someone in our office had their foreskin, had their circumcision sort of redone, essentially. And everyone's thing is like, oh, my God, because you don't get any anesthetic the first time around. There's a sort of, I think, misconception.
The kids, you do.
Oh, you do?
They do now, yeah.
I thought they just let the kids suck on a little Manischewitz.
No, they give them...
dunked into the memorial scarf or something.
There's now circumcision.
Okay, but the general perception of this is no anesthetic at age at 3 weeks of age.
Yeah.
No anesthetic at age 21.
Yeah, no, you do get plenty of anesthetic, but it's the healing part. The 2 weeks afterwards is a very swollen, irritated, delicate area.
Okay,
that sort of thing.
All right, but small price to pay to find the head of your penis.
Case, yes,
small price. Thank you, Steve.
Hey, how you guys doing?
30. You love Henry?
Oh, good, definitely. I feel just like a 99-cent crispy taco talking to you guys.
Thanks there, Steve. Now, what's up?
I just want to tell Henry I think he's awesome, and he really turned me around. I'm in a band too, and you usually see these singers, real skinny guys and stuff like that, and seeing Henry really buff, and it got me, working out for the past 7 years now, and I just don't know how he can find time. I know how busy he is, how he can find the time to get it in there, and how often he works out.
Talking about finding the time, Steve. Jesus.
You can get a lot of working out done in about 20 to 35 minutes without taking much rest between sets, and so you can be really efficient in a short amount of time. And so I usually am on a pretty compressed schedule. And if I'm home, I work out in my garage. If I'm on the road, I'm finding a local gym, and it's usually me and my road manager, Mike, and we just go and hit it real fast and quit it and get back to the venue. And we just go for like a high-intensity workout, and then we're in, we're out. And you can, like I said, if you don't, goof around between sets, you can get a bloody amount of work done in a little bit of time and get a really great workout. And that's how I do it, because I do have a schedule that's pretty intense.
And one of the best adages, by the way, is if you want to get something done, ask someone who's busy or something.
Yeah.
I found that the people who don't get a lot done in their life are always overwhelmed, even though there's very little on their plate. And the people that have a ton on their plate
get more done.
Seem to be able to get things done.
Mm-hmm. The more you do, the more you do.
Yeah.
Here quickly, Christy, age 20, is asking about working on her senior thesis titled "Is Punk Dead?" Your thoughts, Henry?
I always thought punk rock was just the bands or the movement that came to show up the old codgers. Like Iggy Pop and Velvet Underground came to push, the old guys out of the way, and Johnny Rotten knocked around Pink Floyd, and Kurt Cobain took Poison and Cinderella for a ride, and then those guys get comfy and overpaid and get a fat layer, and then someone else comes through and wipes the plate clean. I think it's a wonderful ritual, and there's always that kind of upstart factor in music every 3 to 7 years, and I always welcome it because my stock always goes up in that time. And so there's your punk rock.
All right. Very well put. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back with Henry Rollins after this. That's the show, everybody. Jurassic 5 in here tomorrow night. Henry Rollins, thanks again for showing up. Always good to see Henry.
Thanks, you guys. Good to see you, too.
Rise Above, name of the CD, out as we speak. And, Henry, come back and plug whatever you want to plug whenever you want to plug it.
Oh, yeah, I'll come back at some point.
And watch...
No, I'm not trying to be vague.
Watch that Full Metal Challenge on October 20th.
Yeah,
that's
watch
that.
Yeah. That was fun.
I love
There's
that.
no racial bigotry here.
Full Metal Jacket, got it.
That's right, Trey.
Got it.
That's a movie you need to see.
Yeah, dude, I do.
So until next time, it's Adam Carolla for Dr. Drew saying... Mahalo.
It's a California thing where the guy is guilty.
Yeah, California sucks.
This has been Loveline. The opinions expressed on this show are not necessarily those of the staff, management, sponsors, or this station. The producer for Loveline is Ann Wilkins Dingle. Loveline is a presentation of Westwood One Entertainment.